Well, for our first series of the night, we are going the distance, and I at least am hoping that we have a little bit of a closer game 3, because of course game 1 was very 9Pandas favored, game 2 was a very UALEIKUMNIHAO favored, so Danog. Hopefully game 3 we have a bit more of an even back and forth, and it doesn't have to end too fast.
I'm very impressed with you. You got the pronunciation right as
Thank
well.
you, thank you.
Yeah, I hope so too. You know, like 10-15 minutes into that one, when Lifesteal had gotten a little bit off the chain, but across the board it was pretty even. I was like, oh good, we're going to have a nice even late game. Let's see if UALEIKUMNIHAO are able to, not make too many mistakes, but I mean, they just didn't make a single one, it felt like, from like that period onwards. They made the lanes correct, they made a lot of good rotations, and it really was, for me, the MVP performance coming out of Chira Jr. that won them that game. Like, he should not have had as good a time in that mid lane. We talked about in game 1, like, the flow-on effect, the butterfly effect, if you will, of, like, leveling up Flame Break at level 1 made it that you just didn't have a game on Shogurat. Well, giving up a solo kill on the Queen of Pain against a Storm Spirit lineup that you should crush probably does the same sort of thing, and probably to an even greater extent.
Yeah, and getting the solo kill with the lifesteal versus the Axe as well. We saw as soon as that kill happened, he just couldn't continue playing the lane, was very cautious on wanting to try and cut, and then you couldn't just lane versus the lifesteal, it's just going to run you down, and ever since then there was... he's still got a decent Vanguard blink timing, but again, multiple times they were going for these attempts to try and get early kills with the threat of like the Chrono and all their ultimates, and we just didn't see that pay out. So big props have to be given to UALEIKUM to prevent that, and now we'll see if they
take a tower. I don't think they even took a tower. The only one that had tower damage was Kiyotaka with like 700. So, oof, that's rough.
Yeah, that is very rough. But of course, I mean, we know what 9Pandas are able to do. I'm sure they're going to be able to shrug off this this defeat and look towards game 3, and we'll see what we have in store for us. We do have our draft underway once again. It's going to be there's that Storm Bam, so something a little bit different from UALEIKUM, and something different overall with this series as well. We're going to get a Beastmaster first pick from Pandas.
Yeah, I'm a little perplexed by that. I mean, are they looking to just set up for like a Ramses Terrorblade here? It's something that we've seen. I don't think it was 9Pandas that did it. It was another team that opened up with a Beastmaster and then followed it up with a TB just because...
in Eastern Europe?
Yeah, in Eastern Europe. It was one of the games that we cast before, I thought. I want to say it was Namiga. Or was it Namiga?
One move did it in game 1 versus Hydra, and then... Amiga went... They did Beast Terrorblade, but they picked Terrorblade at 15th or 16th. A lot of people are doing currently. Gaming just did it yesterday as well, where they just went Beast and TB. So
they synergize super well together, right?
Yeah, they do.
Like, and it also just prevents you from getting Beastmastered when you've got a Terrorblade of your own. And I'm sure that's what UALEIKUM are considering with these next 2 picks coming up. What's up?
What are your thoughts currently with what we're seeing with, like, when you have first pick, you go for like a broken core, and then you follow it up with the 8th pick. We see often like another core is picked up there. Are you liking kind of the double cores that we're seeing at the moment with drafting? I
think it's kind of what you have to do, right? Because if you don't, then you're just like limping into the 2nd and 3rd phases of the draft and being like, oh, I hope they don't counter pick me, because it's going to happen. You just got to pick what's busted early before they can pick it themselves, or they could just ban it out. And this is it, right? Like, dude, you have to take it away from them.
They're going to get tinkered at the 8th potentially. They have to. It's already a great matchup versus Terrorblade. You've got the Beastmaster to enable the Tinker.
So what do you think they're picking? Do you think they're picking like a Clockwork or something here? Just something that's able to find the Tinker and then actually engage onto it that isn't horrible in a Beastmaster lane?
I don't even think it matters what they pick. I think you like it, even if it's like a pseudo counter. What if
they tinker?
Yeah, sure. Let's go Tinker.
Because you can't like Puck now. That just completely throws away the advantage of 2nd pick. I think any support that has the capability to get on what is a potential Tinker pick, this isn't horrible, right? Because it would be horrible if it was a Tinker with a Bounty Hunter, and I don't think you want to waste bans on that. So let's see what they look to go for here. I still think Tinker's very viable, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, they only have 3 bans, and there's only so much that you can get rid of, right? You'd probably get rid of Puck and maybe Night Stalker and stuff like that. Pretty
I
good
really
matchup
think
game actually if they do go Tinker.
it is, yeah. Versus the Beastmaster. They're gonna have a lot of vision to play with. I really think this Tinker hero needs to be bumped up in priority. It's actually something that
Namiga banned it every time that they were playing against it.
And we spoke about that, right? It was because
First phase.
yeah, it's because it had the 8th pick to then protect it with those 3 bans. So I think Techies is a really, really busted hero right now. I think Antares has one of the best Techies. I see the reasoning behind it. I just feel like your Tinker's going to get banned out, and I really think Kutaka would have taken over this game. I think this hero is definitely first phase material with Kutaka. He just that one game is like ingrained in my head at the major where he just obliterated, completely took over on the Tinker, and I think. I don't even think it matters if you're playing into too many counters. If you are like a Tinker specialist, you will just win the game.
Matters a little bit, I think.
A little bit.
I think 9Pandas' strategy is they are just going to absolutely crap on this offlane. Like they are, Beastmaster Techies is going to destroy Terrorblade in this lane. All of that magic damage, there's absolutely nothing that he can look to do against that. And then they're just saying, I'm assuming this is what their talks are in the team. Like, all right, well, we know we're up against a Terrorblade, so let's just look to pick a core that's going to be good against Terrorblade. Like, a PL is certainly an option here for Ramses. That's potentially why they're getting rid of the Pangolier, one of these heroes that's pretty great at being able to clear out a lot of those illusions with the Swashbuckler and the Maelstrom.
I think there's also potential, though, for the TB lane to also get kills versus the Beastmaster Techies, depending on the 5. So is there some that come to mind to you that could maybe enable that for EEU?
So the highest kill potential position 5 is always CM, in my opinion, just to enable that. But the issue is, like, you get outranged by Techies through an insanely long right-click range. You can throw bombs from whatever range, and you can do the same sort of thing with axes as well. So, like, what is a CM actually going to do in this lane? It needs to be someone that kind of gets on the front foot a little bit more. I still think they can combo it, man. Yeah, good PL ban.
I'm really, really intrigued what they want to ban here with the loss for Aleikum. Because now, like, the Venomancer seems a little interesting to me. I don't know if they're trying to fish for a Faceless Void ban. Again, if you ban that, then Tinky gets let through. What do you think they need to get rid of for Aleikum with their last ban in the second phase?
What do Aleikum need to get rid of?
Yes.
I wouldn't hate... I'm just going to throw a weird pick out there. Dazzle. Let's get rid of a Dazzle, because I think if you get that early shard, deals with the Beastmaster, pretty decent at like ball up and go. It's a solo hero, and if this Bounty Hunter is a position 4, Dazzle is actually one of those heroes that you just keep the poison touch on him and then just run at him, right? Like Bounty Hunter wants to kind of stick on top of you, and it kind of turns it the other way around.
Radiant team ban.
You're going to ban Void? That's Viper Veno now.
Some kind of melee hero.
Yeah.
Some kind of melee hero that doesn't have an escape that or sustain that wants to build Maelstrom, I think is what they're considering here.
Team pick. Dire team
Wouldn't have hated the morph either.
Skywrath Mage.
Okay. Skywrath Mage. They were lacking a little bit of early damage, so makes a lot of sense.
Does that reveal the bounties at 3 though? I don't know if you want to...
Could be a bounty 5.
10 seconds remaining.
You like that?
You're tanky enough
5
in the super
seconds
early
remaining.
parts of the game where, like, you're fast enough and tanky enough that you can look to run in and, like... I wouldn't hate seeing TB go, like, level 1 Reflection, for example, just to get a little bit of extra damage coming through from afar. I don't think meta is that great for that. I mean, again, it is a melee Maelstrom buyer. It's not amazing synergy together with the Beastmaster, which is the thing that I'm a little concerned about, but the Lich, of course, is a solo style of hero. You can look to run down a relatively weak lane. But again, what EEU have set up for them is that they've got the potential now to think about, alright, well, what can actually counter this Bloodseeker? Or what can stay in the lane against the Bloodseeker? Is it something like, I don't know, consider a Necro or something like that. I'm not sure, but just something that's very oppressive to any sort of melee laners that's going to be able to out-sustain is the go for it.
I understand the call for the Necro, but there's also like issues with how do you, like, who's your stun for the Sky? And I think you need multiple. I don't think it can just be like your mid lane, because then it's very obvious. If your mid lane showing, then it means that there's no one really roaming with the Sky. So...
Okay. Enigma. I was about to say, so what, just LC then? Like, as a melee hero against another melee position 1 that can lock into place, but it would have been decent if you did go like a full-on ball-up strategy against a Beastmaster.
Do you like this Enigma? Because I have concerns that you're always going to address the black holes the game goes on with Raw. And I feel like your lane could be a little bit difficult against a Bloodseeker Lich as well. That's a very, very aggressive lane duo from Pandas.
It is, but I guess they're just thinking that it's going to be pushing back towards their own tower. Like, any time that you're up against a melee position 1, Enigma's alright, just because you're going to be able to deny away some of the creeps, you're going to be able to stay at range, you're going to be able to get a little bit of harassment out. Lich is one of the better heroes, though, at being able to, you know, bridge that gap a little bit. Most of the time, it's not worth using the Frost Blast on the Eidolons, but with a Bloodseeker, even just with the 1 point in the Bloodright, it can be very well worth it just to be able to kill them before they're able to split and kind of suppress you out of the lane. Finally, the Tinkerbell comes out.
So for Pandas, we're kind of looking for, I think, maybe a little bit of magic damage to help deal with the Terrorblade illusions and potentially a way to start fights, because they are
Zeus
currently
is pretty good
lacking.
this game, I gotta say. Zeus, man.
I don't...
Where's the catch?
Dire team pick.
I don't know how that hero fits in now with the Ag Shard change.
I still think it's good.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you build right-click on it. I think, you know, it's now inbuilt into your Arc Lightning, the static field, a weakened version of it, but you're able to spam it out pretty frequently. It's going to be able to deal with a Terrorblade. They have no jump, and they've banned out 3 heroes that can well, no Storm, no Pango, no Puck, no Ember Spirit, no Wind Ranger, no Spirit Breaker. Never mind. I've been waiting to see this in a pro game, so I'm excited. Let's see if he's a 1-point Wex enjoyer on Kiyotaka.
So there's... I think you could be considering something like a Conquer against a Beastmaster. It's nice. One of the best matchups versus the Invoker as well. Set up for the Sky. Can get active very early on. What else comes to mind for you?
I think Conker's just in a bad spot right now, is all.
Yeah.
I like the hero as a concept. I just think he's undertuned right now. So I'm not sure if that's like the big last pick that you want to be able to bring everything together. But what else is there? You know, like, you need something that's going to be able to respond to a lot of magic damage for starters, a lot of push.
You may now select
Burst
your
is pretty
heroes.
decent, especially in combination together with the Skywrath, right? You can blow up anyone in this game. I really don't hate this as a last pick overall, and you're going to have a good right-click advantage over Kiyotaka in the super early parts of the game too.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, right? Like, they kind of need that. You just need a way to initiate and set up for the Mystic Flare. So that's really what the Tiny is going to be able to provide them. It's also an Eastern Europe staple. Like, this is still a region that really, really favors this hero. Kiyotaka is one of them in particular. I think at the moment
know how to
has
play
probably
against it, at least.
Yes, exactly right. I think he has top 3 best Tinies right now in the world, so he without a doubt will know how to play against it.
Name the others.
But I'll say he's the best because I can't name any others right now, so he can take that top slot. But
there we go. I bumped you up there.
I'm excited to see the new Invoker as well, because this hero got a really big buff, like a really, really big buff with some of the changes with the Wex. The media got buffed up as well, so I haven't been able to get a game just yet to see how strong this hero is. So this could be a great example for them, because it looks like a pretty good Invoker game overall. They're going to have a lot of difficulties with getting on top of him, so see if Kiyotaka can have a bit better of a third game here. But we're going to hear from EGB before we get into this third game.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Alright, Mr. Danog. the ultimate question. Game 1, 17 minutes. Game 2, 24 minutes. Is this one going a little bit longer?
A little bit longer. A little bit longer. I don't think either team have the...
Vexen! Not like this! And Kirotaka got the kill! Oh, he just ran straight up the high ground and Pandas were there. I'm sure you would expect that, right? I feel like at the moment, all the fightmans are down to this bottom side of the map where you have that radiant cliff ward. You wouldn't expect just a 4-man beeline down the mid lane.
I think those odds were from before that. I wonder if it's going to be favoring the 9Pandas a little bit more, but I was about to say a little bit longer, 15 minutes off the back of that. Okay, maybe he was thinking, you know what, I'm a bounty hunter, it's nighttime, and he was under the smoke as well, so he would have just gotten to that mid lane incredibly fast, but I mean, clearly there was just some mad clicking going on even during that loading screen from 9Pandas to make sure that didn't happen. This is a game set up for Kirotaka to take over.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, would like some revenge as well with how well that last game went.
Ramses was able to steal away the bounty rune over Bexham as well. Always feels.
They're gonna get a. Oh no.
Yep, 15 minutes. I'm sticking with it.
Oh, come on, dude.
Nope. It's my my time, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, that's
All
it.
right,
Well,
I want a prediction from you. When, or even does Kirotaka put a point in Wix?
I don't know, probably like level 8? Level 9?
Okay.
Bottom lane? What's going on? Bexham with the early try. Looks like a lot of pressure put on Amiro. Blood grenades galore, and well, they should be able to secure with a kill, so they're able to get something early on from boys on radio.
I like the fact that they went for that too. Again, this is a lane that should go incredibly well for 9Pandas. So the fact that they get the outnumber, they use that the stun plus the slow from the Orb of Venom and the Blood Grenade to be able to secure the kill. You knew that Shogarat wasn't really going to be in too much danger up on this top side for the first wave at least. You know, the demonic conversion pushing it back, and well, the wave's already all the way underneath the tower. I have to be careful popping that silence though.
So this Bloodseeker hero is one that I think is going to continue to rise in popularity. I know Mr. Arteezy has been streaming a lot lately, and he said that he thinks the Bloodseeker is the best carry in 7.33C. So,
Can you say why?
No, I wasn't there. I just heard that, the cliff note of that. So, I was watching the Secret verse GG, I think they played. I don't remember who they played. And game 1, they first phased Chrysalis' Bloodseeker, and he popped off. It was against a Terrorblade. The Scepter on this hero is very, very dumb. So I think that's a big reason why it's in popularity at the moment with the Bloodseeker. So I think it's... I've been seeing like a lot of the Mjolnir rush and then going Scepter like 3rd, 4th item. Arrow? Oh. Yikers, another death down bottom, and Tyrus might try and keep back onto Palantimos, but the stick bomb's still on cooldown. It's gonna be shoved away from the lanes. Oh, Sunstrike, I can't... Oh, it's actually on Palantimos, okay. So I'm not gonna go for the kill onto Mary. Still the right clicks are starting to stack up.
Wasn't expecting the second death on the Beastmaster though, so this is twice now that they've actually come out of this safe lane in a relatively decent spot. Of course, having to be very careful with the meta now on cooldown, and Miro back in this lane. Still a little bit up until that level 3, but...
Shogarat? Oh, nicely done, yeah. Wait, Solo? Will he be... Hey, Solo? What? How did he take all the tower hits? What happened with the aggro?
I'm sure he was trying some sort of right-click trick and just did not work. He just has to be a little careful. He's moving pretty damn quickly, though, with Skywrath incredibly low on that bottom side of the map, and this is always going to happen, right? When TB doesn't have the meta, when TB doesn't have any regen, he's forced to play super far back, and, well, Sky is forced to just do anything to be able to try and protect him. He gets the healing Lotus, but pays for it.
You get nothing.
See Bexen running at them with that Sentry Ward up on the top side. Have to be a little bit careful with his positioning here, although we do have the Eidolons just pressuring Ramses away here.
They're about to split. Ramses
are
Oh my god, Ramses! You. It's pivotal for him to be able to get these last hits now. No creeps are low. So he's might go down. Oh my lord, man. There's a fine line Ramses is playing.
Sounds like you're about to break into tears off the back of Ramses.
I was battling a hiccup. And yeah, it was difficult times over here.
You could say it. You care about Ramses.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the #1 person I look out for.
Yeah, absolutely. We both know that's me.
I deny you.
You.
Look out for me.
Come on now. Don't kid yourself. Ooh, hang on. Palantimos. Trouble with another round of the axes. Actually not enough to get the kill. A big stick and that early bracer with the stats. It's going to keep Palantimos alive. They might continue to dive Mary. They're even going to use an aggressive glyph to help with the chase. They need a Sunstrike. Hero's got another axes up shortly. If it's going to be on the mark, that's what they need to get the kill. It's off and...
They see him though. He's got the thirst.
He's going to...
Oh,
wait, where's the others?
It was a guess. He was low enough from the thirst, but able to dodge it out. Still though, it is a lot of time being spent away from that tower. 9Pandas don't want another time with... Wait, they're still going for the chase. And Ares is actually... might be able to secure this one. The creeps, I know, they're sleeping.
And Sunstrike back up.
Should be a while.
He's chilling. He's going for it. He's going right into it. Kiyotaka this time. No, he's 1 for 3 now, but that's a big one onto Palantir, who bought a self as well, keep in mind. So 110 gold wasted, trip back to base, and a big kill for Mr. Kiyotaka.
Alright, no points Wex. I'm doing a constant Wex check here on Kiyotaka. Most of the time, I want to know from like an Invoker player, like when you can actually look to abuse this. Like the Tornado, obviously, but...
Top lane, Ramses. Yo, can they get the split before the stuns? Not going to be able to do so. Now, Bexon. Gonna step out. Will he step out? Ramses wants to go back in. They're still waiting for the Eidolons to split. Oh man, just unlucky. Ramses able to narrowly evade that attempt, and another Sunstrike's gonna be on the mark. Kiyotaka, okay. Midas now completed, fought the Invoker, and well, he was counterpart mid lane. Chira Jr. starting to rotate down to bottom. It did get scouted out from the ball though. Man, what a timing from the board to re-enter the lane from, I believe, stacking. That is very lucky for Miro.
I think it was just the regular ancient stacks that were being built up, and we're seeing prior to 7 minutes those wisdom runes being pinged out. No one's really in a great position to be able to secure it on EEU, so they make the TP happen with Bexon. Just looking to scout out to see if there were any sneaky people trying to steal it away from him. I wonder what Solo's next move is going to be. Just continue to move up top, make sure that Ramses... like, for all the harassment that he's taken and all the time that he's spent on like 20% or less HP, he's still second on net worth. He's doing just fine up here.
Do you feel like partially a lot of that is just because with the action we've seen from Pandas across the map? Like it felt like this bottom lane... Oh, no, it's not trying... Oh my god! Oh, Kiyotaka. This is a masterclass performance for him to start this game. He might be in some trouble though. Double damage room's going to be applied from Chira Jr. The TP, it's actually going to act as a deterrent, might still go down. They cancel the TP, and as a result, Chira Jr. was still able to secure the kill. Beautifully done. It's a big one. They were able to find Mimo top lane. We're even going to get another one onto Solo, continuing to put the pressure on. Sugar has a Black Hole already, lacking the mana though.
I was mentioning before that Solo wouldn't be the one to TP into the mid lane because there's no bottle to fill, but even without the bottle on the Invoker, it just shows the importance of the power runes as well. They don't secure that kill with the Tiny if he doesn't have that double damage rune, and off the back of that, he's even able to pick up an Arcane rune as well. Almost taken out the mid tier 1 tower too, so really nice rotation coming through from Mary. Has been scouted out, the fact that he's still hanging around this mid lane. I almost thought that he misplayed a little bit there on Chira with getting the toss off onto the Forge Spirit, but I think he just wanted to make sure that the Cold Snap would stop affecting him as the Invoker was going for the retreat there.
Is Kiyotaka baiting? He's got both supports to play with. It's going to be a long jump in from Ataris. They're pretty hesitant about going for the Tiny, though. A lot of health pool that they're going to have to cut through. Sunstrike's at the ready. Chiro... Oh, he's not going to avoid it, but still, there's not enough follow-up damage to bring him down.
They know that both supports are here, though. Solo has the TP available, but they'll know that he doesn't have much mana, so might not be able to get that full round of spells off to be able to protect Ramses. Team side, they have, they've got the black hole available if they want to go for it, especially with these Eidolon split. You can tell that's what they were aiming for, but Ramses, good presence of mind to be able to get away.
Yeah, what would you like to see out of Pandas on how they can address this top lane? Do you feel like you just sack it and put the Bloodseeker in the jungle, or can you maybe contest the timing that we're getting out of Aleikum up top?
I think they're doing just fine on Pandas, right? Like, I don't think Ramses feels like this power's being too pressured, right? As soon as it starts to push in towards him, he might just move in, lay down a Blood Right, and just go straight back to jungling. He could just move down bottom as well. Like, Nero took that tower bottom pretty early on. So maybe it's going to be up onto the Beastmaster once he hits onto his level 7 to just keep that lane pushed out as well with the Wild Axes. Kiyotaka, of course, Invoker's not the greatest at rotating. He's actually, well, he will be about to with the Haste Rune.
He's actually going to look for Chiro Jr. They're going to be able to connect with Antares, who already has the level 6, so with the extra damage from the proximity mines, there should be enough to help secure the kill. Mary's going to try and provide some assistance, but not really a whole lot the Sky can do to offset that attempt, so nice little injection of gold.
I think that's just one of the ones where unfortunately you had to cut your losses. A Haste Rune on an Invoker that's this huge with the techies, like you mentioned, the magic resistance reduction of 15% on the proximity mines. It was way too much for even a Tiny to deal with.
Radiant structure.
Enough Tiny though, only 150 gold away from the Blink Dagger, so that kill obviously taken away a lot of that unreliable gold. It's going to slow down that timing a little bit, but he's close enough to be able to maybe be making that impact quite shortly. Of course, if anyone moves out of position, Enigma won't hesitate to drop the Black Hole, but you would imagine that's around where they're going to look to make this first Blink Dagger play.
Is this game like solely reliant though on Tiny's potential to find kills? Because I just took a look at the Terrorblades net worth. He's really, really far behind.
He is. Sorry, I'm just having a look up top. Bexon, unfortunately, isn't yet level 6. Might be forced to TP away. And ooh, Kiyotaka, man. Ramsey's even just looking away during that. He's like, oh, my boy's got it.
Let's see if they're going to have the damage with the Mystic Flare combos. Able to step out. Raindrop saving dividends, even the point booster as well. A lot of extra health to be able to play with, and now they'll get the turn on to Chiro Jr. Striker's going to be able to keep alive with the Meg to Pogo stick in, but is there going to be damage follow-up? He's in the middle of the black hole. Kiyotaka falling lower and lower, but the cost, it's enough region to keep him alive, and now Pandas, they'll be able to chase down Mary as well, narrowly avoiding a disaster fight with that black hole, almost enough to turn it back around into a Kylum's favor.
I knew you'd have trouble with the pronunciation at some point.
One time. I cannot believe you brought it up.
Was Shogran a little slow on the mech that time around? I think he dropped the mech after the fact. I'm not sure if it was still being delivered on the courier or something, but I mean, if Tiny lives, that's a triple kill that they're able to get off the back of that. They're still get a kill onto Solo. All this damage coming back the other way.
No. Yeah. You can't be losing Chiro Jr. This is... What, 2 deaths now back to back with the Blink?
Yeah.
We were just saying that this game felt like for them to be able to get back in it, he had to be able to execute with a couple of kills early on, and man, Kiyotaka's 8-1. He's going to have an incredible Octarine timing.
I mean, we were saying it during the draft, right? This game is set up for Invoker excellence. He gets the first blood. He dominates the side lanes just through the Sunstrike. He hasn't made a single rotation, but that's because he's where the action is.
Okay, so what do we need to see out of for the boys on Radiant? They've got to smoke on Mary. Do you just want to see the Tiny and Sky look to smoke together?
I guess so, but like, what is the main priority for you right now? The top tower is pretty low, but not pretty low, but low enough that an Enigma with Eidolons plus a Tiny rotation could be able to make it happen. Maybe the Fairy's Trinket, the extra damage from that's going to be enough to be able to deal with it, but I think they want track gold, and the best way to be able to avoid that, or at least equalize the net worth gain that Aleikum are going to lose again is off the back of splitting up, right? Because it means that you're not going to get picked off one by one.
Ares has got Kiyotaka here, and when the Invoker is able to freely spellcast, we'll see what an issue that's going to be able to be for Radiant. So, and Tara's even looking to jump over the top as well. A beautiful position for the Blood Right.
Oh, he knew.
Sidestep.
Exxon was like, oh.
Really? I mean, for Galen, you do see that.
Nope.
Palantimos is... Come on. Come on now.
Aleikum, say it with me.
Sorry, say again?
Aleikum.
Aleikum. Yeah, but that's, you know, your Palantimos is, he's catching up at least, which is, I mean, 300 behind the Bloodseeker, who was the lowest net worth out of all the cores. Now the Tiny is going to take that spot, which is...
Typically, you don't want someone on your team to be filling that role, you know, when you overtake. We're going to talk about the 14.5-minute Octarine on Kiyotaka as well.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Oh, there's the value X. Alacrity, 10 more attack speed, let's go. The damage helps. For
Sorry, I was just trying to see if they reduce... How'd they buff with the meteor mid lane? Again, Tira Jr. once again is in some trouble. He's got Mary to play with. They're going to try and potentially turn around the toss. Sends him out of the Mystic Flare. Once again, those Shurg Rats going to be there. And this time with the mechanism. It's enough to keep Tira Jr. alive.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
It's continuing to be 9Pandas that are the one getting aggressive instead of the boys on Radiant. They need to continue to find the kills. They've got no value out of this Blink Dagger from Tira Jr.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Do we need a... You know, every minute we need to say the Radiant's name, Aleikum, just so we can get it in our heads easier. Say it with me now? No?
For whatever reason, I just stopped hearing you for the past minute. What's up?
Oh, what's good, my dude? Oh, Tira? All right. That's a big kill. Find it. No, Sunstrike backs him. All right, he's chilling.
It is a big kill, though, for them to be able to pick up on Tamiro. Like, he still wants to be progressing into this Helm of the Overlord timing. 600 or so away from that, but the deaths never really help out, and this is, again, kind of a similar story from what we've seen at most stages of this series. We've seen a little bit of an invasion going on. These guys clearly studying the way that Ramses plays, and they're on point once again, able to find him out with the Mystic Flare, not even needing the Ancient Seal to be able to pop him.
I cannot stress enough how important those healers are for the lineup they have. Like, I wish it was just easier to articulate, but this is just like, you have a bounty, you've gone Blink with Sky, you need to just continue to find pickoffs. They haven't been able to do so far this game. And well, now you're going to run into Miro's domain, and as a result, he's going to be able to secure a kill. We've spoken a lot about the Invoker. Miro has been free farming. He has not left his bottom side of the map. He's going to have a great timing with that Helm of the Overlord.
Might be a little bit more difficult now, considering you have lost your tier 1 tower, the lane is pushing in, you need to reveal yourself as opposed to taking a lot of those stacks with the axes that you want to be doing. But I think, in general, you're still pretty satisfied with how things have gone from 9Pandas. The big thing that I'm looking for is, you know, how are they going to look to play
top lane, Kiyotaka? They got a glimpse of him. They might be able to... Yeah, smoke pops. Oh no, they guessed wrong. That's a huge rotation top from Calum, and they're not going to be able to catch out any Kiyotaka. Come on now, come on.
I'm going to call it every time.
Calum. It's just not happening.
Aleikum.
Aleikum. Aleikum.
Radiant are scanning.
And I would say it is probably the trickiest Dota name that I have had to say. I don't know if there's a one that comes even close.
I'm sure we can think of some as they might be looking to get another kill here with the track. Palantimos actually the illusion being the one to secure the kill.
It's not looking good for Chiro. Sunstrike even pushing him into it. Kiyotaka, beautiful spell casting. And the 5-on-5s at this stage of the game is not going to favor UALEIKUM at all.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, they'd already taken the tier 1 mid though, so yeah, it's nice to be able to get a couple of kills and prevent that track, obviously, from having its full impact, but you really want that to be, you know, potentially around the top lane, especially as we're approaching this timing for Tormentors to be coming up, for the 3rd Wisdom Rune, which might bring, you know, one of your supports closer to that level 2 ulti, which is one of those ones that actually has a massive jump up in damage from level 1 to level 2. 250 to 400 damage per bounce can turn a team fight around on its own. Not the most exciting, but Aurobot Beastmaster going to be incredibly effective this game. Obviously, the meal of the day. I don't know why I used that analogy, but he's going to be going into that as a way to be able to mitigate a lot of this damage coming through from the Tiny and the Skyrim, especially.
When do we feel like Pandas need to be a little bit concerned with how much farm that Palantimos is getting? So hold that thought, because Antares, great way to start with the double jump, but there's no one really nearby to follow in pursuit. They're still going to be able to close the distance. A lot of spells casted onto Chirajuna. Even Ramses wants to get into the middle of it all. Look how fast he's in Ramses. Here comes the cleanup through on aisle A. Well, miss with the Sunstrike. I might give an opportunity for the Sunder, but great use of the BKB at the last second. Results in a full 5-man wipe as Pandas only lose the techies.
I mean, this is exactly how you want to be playing, right? You want to be playing around that Helm of the Overlord timing as quickly as possible, because there's no hero in the game at this point that's able to just man fight up against it. Like, you could chain stun it, you could do whatever, but it is still a very, very beefy boy, and they're just able to do so much damage off the back of playing behind that Ancient Black Dragon that there's really nothing that they can do to resist it. Of course, Ramsey's turning up as well with that BKB timing, so important for a Bloodseeker to look to try and just reach those big spikes and make things happen with it. You know, BKB, Maelstrom, Phase Boots, it's the first little one. He's nearly gotten into the Mjolnir as well, but I'm expecting to see, as usual, an Aghanim Shard purchased up by Ramses pretty shortly after.
Would you more than likely you think Age is on Kiyotaka or Ramses?
They don't really have anyone to jump Kiyotaka, is the thing. Like, I can understand wanting to give it to him because he's got this Blink Dagger, and I guess he's close to the BKB, so maybe he's going to be playing a little bit more of that role, but if you could get him to just overwhelm a teamfight with how far ahead he is, then it means that Ramses can look to save that BKB for the next little bit. You know, he can look to join in like he just did, zooming around like a freaking race car.
This game really feels like it's starting to get out of hand.
Can he 100-0 at Tiny? I don't think so.
Rolling out.
Alright, he's trying to scout if anyone else is playing behind him. Yeah. Glimpse, nice reaction, some blink away. And Pandas, we're starting to smoke and head to top. Palantimos, is this gonna be? Maybe they're gonna bait. Clifford set up. They get a glimpse of Kiyotaka. They're gonna need more members to try and secure the kill.
Fingers.
I'm gonna know he's even gonna continue charging forward because there's the wraparound finally. That smoke is able to make its way all the way to top. What? No way. Tornado connects just on the edge. He's gonna go for it. Okay. Dude, that's a heat check right there. He's 11-1-4, top of the net worth. If he was able to get that kill, my god, that is quite the invoking performance.
I mean, it already is. He's having a great time. He's having good at the techies as well, so he's got the Aghanim Shard off of the Tormentor Steel, so reactive Taser being castable on allies, dealing damage on detonation. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, the Dispel is kind of nice, I suppose, up against the Skywrath especially.
This is really awkward bottom. Kiyotaka whiffed on this initial start, and now Radiant is starting to move bottom as well. They can't use the Black Hole on the first life, so Kiyotaka will take a while to get the kill.
They can't use it at all. he's out of there. Oh. They're really using this Aegis to its fullest potential, right? Like, again, Kiyotaka is playing super aggressively off the back of this. And, I mean, if this is the way that they wanted to play it, all power to him, right? Like, He knows that he's had the greatest early game that he could possibly hope for. Ramses, he is just farming his typical Ramses pattern, right? Like, he is not going to move away from this triangle for the next little bit until there's an overwhelming team fight in their favor. No towers to take down bottom, so it really doesn't serve him any purpose to change up rather than, you know, just look to get into this next item, which is the Basher. Might need to... Dark has to be a little careful with his positioning. Yeah. Just get the free Aghanim shard. How long's the Aegis got left on it? 2 minutes. I mean... Could you potentially get, like, one team fight out of Basher with the Aegis? I think you maybe could. Now as well, you also have Solo capable of going for a few more of those solo kills, right? With the Ice Spire being picked up. You just need one person to be able to hold them into place. Honestly, Antares, just with the point in the blast off, is going to be enough. This is a roaming support duo that can 100% get kills on their own.
Well, it's never really solo, right? You've always got that Sunstrike. I mean, it's already maxed out Exort, so you always got to keep that in the back of the mind as well. There's potential for him to kill cores as well, not just the squishy supports. And a very deep attempt from Kiyotaka. He's going to scout out Palantimos, but of course the Ghost Walk will reveal this. Close to the tier 2 tower. Maybe Kiyotaka is just looking to try and force out some reactions. He's actually going to blink aggressively in. He does have 9Pandas starting to veer on over once again, just to act as the bodyguard if required. To the back line, Ramses though. Rest position with a rupture. With no follow-up, of course. This time a little bit too deep on the tier 3. Sunstrike. No way. Oh my god. Ah, freaking Kiyotaka, man. Dude, what a player.
It's not a useless rotation either, right? Like, they get a kill. They can, if they wanted to, push out that lane. Instead, they've got a little bit more priority on Shira Jr. He's just moving so damn fast on Invoker with that reactive taser onto him as well.
They're able to purge off the shield rune as well, thanks to the tornadoes. So the Tiny's not going to be too tanky. And meanwhile, Solo's also on the prowl for more. They're going to catch up to the bounty hunter as Bexon runs down the stairs. Going to try and enter into the jungle, but of course Kiyotaka will try and lock onto his target. They're lacking the detection though, so Bexon will be able to live to see another day.
Well, my 15-minute prediction is not on point, but it is still like a 9Pandas domination.
Yes, it is. Without a doubt, 20,000 net worth lead. 25 minutes in, a masterclass performance from them. Game 2 is just a blip on the radar by the looks of it. And yes, the Terrorblade is getting still a decent chunk of farm, 2-3-2 for Palantimos. I mean, it's nice to be being able to play up against the Beastmaster. You've got a pretty good matchup against that, but the Bloodseeker now, with Basher almost complete from Ramses, this will give him the potential to man fight the Terrorblade.
And even just Antares, like, he knows how to position those proximity mines so well to be able to find out when these aggressive moves are happening. Run into Bexon here. He's actually going to be the one to make the jump, yeah.
Very far on the front line. Pipe's going to be able to mitigate some of the magic damage. It's an early use of the... Oh, Shiroguro got nothing! The Black Hole gave them no value at all, and they just tear them apart. Narrowly will escape, but it doesn't even matter. A 4-for-1. Miro goes down, but... a worthwhile sacrifice as Pandas once again going to come out on top in the fight.
I mean, they just drop everything on him, right? Like, you've got the pipe, you've got the inbuilt magic resistance from that as well, you've got the Parvis, you've got the Glimmer Cape, you got the Lotus Orb. They just dropped absolutely everything onto him. It's important that he dies, but he got off everything that he constantly needed to, right? Dropping the Roar, having his neutral creep do the majority of the work, and he really just didn't get that full benefit out of it.
Hey, he's almost got a hex on... Oh, God.
Yep. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright. He's got it. Yeah,
he
cool.
Just Sunstrike to creep wave just to give himself that last little bit of gold.
This is one of the most farmed invokers I've seen. I didn't know if even a long time works. Just in general, he is so fat. What the hell?
I was really thinking it was a big missed opportunity not going for the Zeus, but I mean, if you could play an invoker like this, then, you know, he's been doing it since before he was Kiyotaka, but when he was Depressed Kid.
Huh?
No,
what is this read?
No, he won the Wisdom. He's going for it. He wanted that Wodo to play.
I don't blame him, dude. He's well and truly feeling himself. May as well go for it. He got plenty of resources to spam out.
And now he's even got the right-click potential as well, with an Enchanted Quiver picked up, with Wex maxed out, so once he pops that Alacrity, full benefit. 94 attack speed, just how crazy fun he is.
They're swinging bottom. Both sides. They got a glimpse of Shurgrat thanks to the Hawk. Ooh, went for the axes instead. Yeah, so Shurgrat's going to be able to live. Now, meanwhile... Okay, looks like the rest of... Radiant Mirror and...
Looks like he'll be able to maybe get away. Yeah. It really doesn't feel like there's too much more that they need to be concerned with, though, does it? I'm hearing a roar.
Yeah.
Just on the bounty hunter. I mean, any chance that you get to be able to... Are they trying to just cut the wave here? On Shira and Mary? I mean, this is dangerous territory to be in, considering how deep 9Pandas just made their move, but... be able to get away with it just standing around this this busted high ground ward on the bottom side of the map, maybe catching someone on the retreat, but really isn't too much of a reason for 9Pandas to retreat. You know, they've only got one outer tower left to be able to play with. Ramses, he's done playing on the Dire Ancient camp, he could just go to the Radiant one. And, well, kind of like you're wanting, he's going into that Aghanim Scepter next. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the newer iteration of it coming through, so I'm keen to see the impact coming out of it.
Well, at they will get one. Tyro's going to go down to the combo. Of course, it's going to reveal that their setup, especially with the wards. And Chiro Jr. should be able to escape, although Kiyotaka's on the hunt. He's got the blink up shortly with the Rex at the ready. And going to chuck the Roar as well for good measure. Oh my god, they got him too. Great micro from Miro. Had the Hawk up there. The Dire Bomb was able to cancel the TP in the nick of time. So, yes, even though you lose Antares, you're still able to get those 2 kills and more than likely the D-Ward as well.
I think that was a real Terrorblade, but ends up just being one of his illusions, trying to keep those lanes pushed in. Really, this top part of the map is the last bastion of safety that they've got to be able to play around with. But being Kiyotaka, he will see Palantimos use the Manta style. He'll be happy enough to be able to get an Enigma kill, one would think. Actually, backing off, okay. Realizing the threat of the black hole coming through.
Ah, okay. Seemed like he thought maybe one of the illusions was real.
I mean, the real guy was close enough.
It was... we got Roche up shortly though, so that's what 9Pandas seem to be waiting for. With that backup, for the potential for them to take it, they're going to get all the control they need down bottom. It doesn't seem like there's anything that really going to be able to do to contest this. Leikum just going to have to... I mean, they're grouping up as 5. You've got the Silver's Edge almost completed from Palantimos. This is going to be a Hail Mary fight from them.
It is, and it's going to be almost entirely off the back of Shurgrat just landing the biggest BKB black hole of his life. You know, like, he needs to be able to do this. So the one thing 9Pandas need to be looking at is do not group up. Oh no, they're in such a confined space. Oh.
Kiyotaka's going to be able to find an angle and catch out the sky. Palantimos is still considering about moving in. It's a 3v5 though.
It's incredibly deep by Vexen. What is
Yeah,
happening, man?
They're just grumbling. I mean, you're so far behind. It's very difficult to find an opportunity. Antares just begging. It's like, boys, come on, Roche is up. That's what we've been waiting for. We get the kill short. We don't need to force the issue. So they're going to be able to back on off and get that Aegis cheese. And really is that second Roche just to help them go high ground now and look to end the game.
It was so scary when they were just clumping around that well area. The 3 ogres. It was set up for like a tornado EMP combo.
It could have been disastrous as well. I think they saw there was a neutral item on the ground. Yeah, and they saw Kiyotaka pick it up, so that gave them at least a read that the Invoker was there. If they didn't see that and kept running up, I mean, that could have been... it just would have been a wipe and potentially barracks even worse. He's got it over far out, dude. Is this records, actually?
We'll have a look into it. I think previously, like around his, not the Octarine timing, but around the Scythe of Vice, that was approaching records, but he's slowed down a little bit. You know, it's only been like 3 kills in the last...
Slowed down. Such a weird thing to say. Look at him!
He just doesn't want...
Wait, do they see him? Oh, dude, they got... Dude! He's cracked! He's cracked out of his mind, Kiyotaka.
Would you say Kiyotaka is him?
Alright, here we go.
Is he him?
So, I don't...
Radiant's top tower.
Him is like an embodiment of someone's personality as well. That is like
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
not a cocky player, but like a wears his heart on his sleeve, emotional, as well as being like the best. Like he's a chirper in a way.
Oh, that's
Whoa, hang on. Okay, just instant cancel with the roll, but Rams is still getting chunked down. Was a BKB expended early on? They got a refresher on Sergerat, but he's going to go down to the tornado terribly. Just gets ripped apart once Rams is able to get on top of him. Well, the boys on Radiant, they're going to be forced to call it quits. So in the end, well, that third game does go a little bit longer than game 1 and game 2, but it's going to be 9Pandas that come out on top.
Whew. A little shaky at times, but yeah, like you said, able to pick up the W. That was, again, Kiyotaka, man, just getting absolutely out of control, and even just in that very last team fight, it might have seemed pretty minor, but you were able to get the first kill onto Ramses, forced him to, I believe, pop the BKB to try and survive, so he wouldn't have had it the second time around, you wouldn't have had the roar, and there was a refresher popped as well by Shogarat on his Enigma, and just the tip of the tornado ends up popping onto him. He still pops the BKB when he comes down from the tornado, but the damage was enough to be able to kill him. If he's able to get that secondary initiation, maybe they hold, and maybe this game is still going. So, Kiyotaka, man, what a player.
Yeah, I really don't even know if there's many other words I can use now to describe the performance that we saw out of Kiyotaka. It was just exceptional from him. He's him. There you go. That's all we need. He's him indeed, Kiyotaka. He cooked without a doubt, and it was beautiful to get to see. At least for me, that was my first Invoker I got to see on the new patch as well. I know a lot of people are talking about, you know, if this hero is potentially back, because he did get a lot of buffs, and regardless, Kiyotaka made him look like a exceptional mid laner at the moment. And in the end, though, still, there's got to be things that they can use heading into the next series now for UALEIKUM. I mean, that is, even you're able to take one map, which is important, versus 9Pandas, a very difficult team. Again, a team we're expecting to at least be top 3. Because it's so incredibly close. You know, Bet Boom, Spirit, who knows how VP are going to be able to perform as well. So definitely top 3. We're more than likely expecting them to come first with their recent performance in the major. So the fact that they're able to at least find their first map victory is huge for the team that just got promoted. It
is. I think out of the series, I think there's bits and pieces that they can take from it. Like, Game 2, obviously, they're going to be looking at why they won. I think a big part of it was, of course, the draft. Game 1, I would really just, like, just throw it away. Like, there's nothing... Damn. There's nothing that you could look into that, because it just wasn't set up for success from the beginning. And then we also talked about, like, way too passive on the Spectre. Wrong things were skilled up at level 1. You could kind of say the same sort of thing about Game 3, where they just gave Kiyotaka first blood with the bounty hunter getting picked off like that, but it was a lot more competitive, for sure, in that game. We saw avenues for them to potentially come back, even 20k down. It was very heavily reliant on the Enigma, and I think 9Pandas just adjusted to it accordingly. Never grouped up as 5, never gave them the option to be able to go for that. So that's the thing that I would be looking at. Games 2 and 3, a little bit for UALEIKUM to look to work with.
Yes, so 9Pandas in the end going to be able to take our first series of the night, and now we get some new teams. So no more stumbling around with UALEIKUMNIHAO's name, but of course we're going to continue to see them overall throughout the season as well. Hopefully they're able to get some wins under their belt, because being 0-3 now is definitely not the position they'd want to be in. But for 9Pandas, they're going to jump up to 2-0, so a very good start for those boys. Next up though, we got One Move versus Nemiga. One Move, they're currently undefeated, and Nemiga, they've already played 3 series in week 1. So this team is they're gonna play half their matches early on in the final tour, the summer tour. So of course, first series done and dusted. We got 2 brand new teams. Gonna be a bit longer of a break though, around about half an hour. So of course, get some food, get some drinks. We'll see you guys back for our second series very shortly.